We talking about the OG.
Yeah, I didn't like that reboot shit
Yeah,
with
me.
Jack Harlow. Yes, Somali, I'm here. Because if it wasn't if it wasn't a little bit good, I wouldn't be here. Trust me.
Funny. They want to see you. That's why.
I know.
How's everybody doing today?
Yeah, so
I feel you. Yeah, just looking up information about this Cat Williams and Stephen A. Smith feud that's happening. I thought this week was never going to end.
yeah.
And I gotta be up at least by 3 in the morning so I can go to work. That's the great part.
So if I'm here, then it must be half decent, right? Because if it was all trash, I would not be here right now. So I will give Will Smith credit. That's why he's a legend.
You heard about that shit with Marvin Sapp?
Marvin Sapp, what do you
Yeah.
do?
So he was preaching in his church, and
Uh,
he told the ushers to lock the doors because he told everybody that he wants $40,000.
I
So
saw that.
he said the ushers locked the fucking doors and shit.
I saw that.
He's like,
Uh,
y'all just. I was dead when he said y'all just gonna go to the restaurant. I was like,
crazy, crazy.
so I said never would have paid it. Never would have paid it.
Uh-uh.
Mm-mm.
That's wild.
I can kiss my ass for that. It looks like Sean Kingston was found guilty.
What?
You said what?
On what? What did he do?
So him and his mom was doing some fraudulent shit with other people. And so now they say he was found guilty on all counts. It was only on one hit one anyway, if you ask me.
Right. Basically, I don't even remember the song he came out with.
That's on beautiful girl.
Right.
I used to like that song. That song got so annoying after a
I
while.
mean, Reg would have had no problem doing the review by himself because he's done it before. I've done reviews by myself, so you know, it's nothing.
Mind you,
It's a lot easier.
I wasn't even planning on talking about his album today, but Charles was like, let's do it today. I was like, fuck it.
I did. I hit him up and I said, you know what? We could hold off on the King T stuff and let's talk about this new album before everybody else do. And I like some stuff that I hear. There's some stuff on here that I don't like, but it's not all bad like I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah, he pretty much hit the nail on the head with that. I think there was like maybe two songs I didn't like from this whole album.
I mean,
I'm about to start in a few minutes. Let me just get my shit together. But I knew he was going to mention Slap. He was going to let it all out.
I mean, we're gonna get to that though. We're gonna
Yeah.
get to that. I got a lot to say about that. Because I heard one of those platforms. I want to say it was the new old guys podcast. So one of them said something about that's what he's going to be defined by, and I totally disagree.
Damn, there's a lot of hip hop anniversaries that came out today.
Jerry,
Shit.
what's good? Salute.
Ooh, which one do I want to talk about today? A lot of hip hop albums came out today.
Yeah, I know. I didn't. I only posted one.
Shit. And almost all were classics.
Oh
Damn.
yeah, all of them.
Shit.
Very
You know what?
historic day. They only talk about the November release date with Tribe and Wu Tang, but today was a very historic day for hip hop albums.
You know what? Just because I just talked about this album on my CD collection recently, I'll mention this one. Fuck it. All right. Oh Lord. Let me get this shit together. Lock them doors.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I was like, okay, Diddy. Okay, Diddy.
Lock them doors.
Right. I was like, no Diddy. Shit. I'm ready to start whenever you are.
Let's go.
What's up, YouTube? How's everyone doing? This your boy Reg in the building. I got my homeboy Try in the building with me. How you doing, Try?
Oh.
Alright, so today's album anniversary, and there was so many, but I fucking want to talk about this one. It's Big L with the Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous. This album came out on March 28th, 1995. So you guys should know who Big L is. Rest in peace. He was a key member of the collective Digging in the Crates, or the properly or popularly known as DITC. You know what I'm saying? This is actually the only album that he came out with in his lifetime, which we'll get more into that. You know what I'm saying? Like when he first started out, he first got his major breakthrough on the Yes You May remix with Lord Finesse. I'm gonna be real with you. I kind of like the remix and the OG on the same lane because I don't know. I kind of go back and forth which one I want, the Percy P one or the Big L one, but I go back and forth and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And so he had signed a deal with like Columbia Records. And while he was working on this album and stuff like that, Columbia, they kind of had a hard time trying to market him because, he was on that horrorcore kind of shit, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, it was a mixture of horrorcore and pretty much like hardcore rap and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? But like with this album right here, when this album came out, it was pretty dope album and shit like that too, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you have songs like MVP, which I do have the single of that song too, which the video version with the smoothed out version. I'm not gonna hold you. I kind of like that version a bit more than the album version. I think they remix it because that the album version uses the DeBarge sample and Stay With Me sample, which at that time was very popular when Biggie used that for the One More Chance and stuff like that. The One More Chance Stay With Me remix and stuff too. Which ironically that wasn't even on the Ready to Die album. But back to but yeah, there you have Put It On, rest in peace to Roy Ayers. That's a very dope Roy Ayers sample. You got Street Struck. I love that record. Fed Up with the Bullshit. A very relevant song today talking about how there's a lot of these trash rappers that get on the radio and stuff like that too. The Graveyard with Lord Finesse, Microphone Nut, a young Jay Z, Party Artie, and Granddaddy IU. Rest in peace to Party Artie and Granddaddy IU. You know what I'm saying? Like this whole album is very dope. I mean, I definitely would give this like maybe like a 4.5 out of 5 and stuff like that too. I feel like it definitely has a very strong cult following to it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is definitely an underground classic. So, what do you think about this album?
Love it. Classic. Um, that's one of the staples in boom bap. You know, when we talk about boom bap albums and Runaway Slave and Stunts, Blunts, and Hip Hop, Big L has to be in that conversation, and the production was great by
Right.
Lord Finesse and Showbiz and Street Struck was one of my favorites, and I love both versions of MVP. Put it
Yeah,
on. You got Kick P on that, and it was great. It was a great album, and it's a shame that we don't have him anymore. But for what he did in '95, and it's just a great album. Columbia Records, I feel like they could have promoted it more, but we knew what it was. Like we knew it was a great album, and yeah, it sorely missed.
yeah,
Even the joints that didn't make the album that was on like the Devil's Son EP was great. We did a review on that like during the pandemic. That was great, and I loved it. Probably my classic.
definitely. Alrighty. Other anniversary that came out was today was T.I.'s King album. Ghostface's Fish Scale, which I feel like came out the same day as T.I.'s King album because they both came out '06. Old Dirty Bastards, Return to the 36 Chambers, which I was so close on talking about, but I already knew Tribe was always going to have that already on deck.
You already know. You already know. Rest in peace. Another legend that we lost. '95 comes out with his debut classic. For RZA and Fourth Disciple, True Master produced it, and man, the joints on that Shimmy Shimmy and Brooklyn Zoo, the Stomp, Baby Come On, probably my classic.
Definitely. Alrighty. So now we're going to go into the Billboard charts. We're going to
And we
go
got
to the week.
Common, like Water for
Oh,
Chocolate.
God, yeah, like Water for Chocolate too.
Yes. And Soul for Real first album was also today.
Real? Oh shit.
Yes.
Oh,
And we did a review for
okay.
all of those.
Yes.
You know what I
All the
mean?
albums like we mentioned, they've all been talked about.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. All right. So now we're gonna go into the Billboard charts and everything like that too. Give me 1 second. Um, decided to take it back to the mid '70s, March 29, 1975. This is the Soul LPs. I was like, let's go to the '70s for a quick second because '75 was a good year for R&B. So let's see what the charts have flipped to that. So number 20, we got Earth, Wind, and Fire with That's the Way of the World. I mean, among their best albums, it's crazy how people forget that that was actually a soundtrack to a movie.
Mm.
Um, Number 19, The Best of the Stylistics, which is the greatest hits compilation from the Stylistics. You know what I'm saying? I love the Stylistics. Number 18, we got Blue Magic, The Magic of Blue. I never heard that record. Number 17, we got The Love Unlimited Orchestra with White Gold. I heard some bits and pieces. Speaking of Love Unlimited, be on the lookout for the Barry White Artist Sunday coming very soon. More on that later. Number 16, Harold Melvin, The Blue Notes, To Be True. Love that record. Very, very, very dope. I think that's like my second favorite album from them. Number 15, we got the Blackbirds for Flying Start. Number 14, we got Average White Band. Um, I think subtitled. I think the AWB album. Um, Number 13, we got the Isley Brothers with Live It Up, classic. Number 12, we got the Spinners with New and Improved, dope album. Number 11, we got Michael Jackson with Forever Michael. Probably the best Motown solo album for Michael Jackson. Yeah, I liked it more than Ben, Got to Be There, and shit like that. That's not an album I hear a lot of people talk about. Number 10, we got Ramsey Lewis, Some Goodness. I need to get my hands on that record. Um, Number 9, we got Gil Scott Heron and Brian Jackson with Midnight Band, The First Minute of a New Day. Never heard that one. Number 8, we got The Miracles with Don't You Love It. I heard bits and pieces of that one. That one's pretty dope. Number 7, we got The Temptations, A Song for You. One of their underrated from the '70s. Number 6, we got The Crusaders with Southern Comfort. Never heard that. Number 5, we got LaBelle with the Nightbirds album, which is possibly my favorite album from them.
Yeah.
Number 4, we got Ohio Plays with Fire. Da, da, da. Yes, okay. Number 3, we got Rufus featuring Shaka Khan with Rufusized, another great album from Rufus. Number 2, we got Al Green with Al Green Explores Your Mind. Yes, and number 1, which there was his first week at number 1, is Minnie Riperton with Perfect Angel. classic album. Rest in peace to Minnie Riperton. So not a bad list for the Billboard charts at that time. Not a bad list. All right, now let's get into the main event. We're gonna talk about Will Smith with his recent album. Something I never thought I'd hear myself say in this day and age.
Mm.
Based on a true story. You know what I'm saying? This album came out literally today and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of rarely we always do albums that actually came out the day of. It's kind of rare that happened. The last time we did that was when Tyler the Creator came out with his album and shit like that months ago. But this album came out. It came out with like a couple of singles. Beautiful Scars was one of them and stuff like that too. And I want to say You Can Make It was a single
Yeah.
because I know he did that on the BET Awards and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I think the BET Awards of last year, which is one of the few good performances. That BET Awards sucked. I'm not gonna hold you. Um, Producers include Angela Glenn, Ayo, Bu Knox, Chilla, Days of '93, FNZ, Angela Glenn, Chris Laughlin, Joyner Lucas, Kinu Lamo, Manuel Lau, Last Night, Leo Sun, Lexo Skeleton, Nato, Amar, 1-6, Javante Pollard, Kyle Townsend, Jason White, and Zach Easy. Um, Guest appearances include DJ Jazzy Jeff, B. Simone, Jack Ross, Tiana Taylor, Big Sean, Obanga, Joyner Lucas, India Martinez, Marson, Friday, the Sunday Service Choir, Russ, and Jaden Smith. Okay. So I think everybody in the world should know who Will Smith is. To be real with you, I don't think I should go. I shouldn't have to ask people who Will Smith is, but yeah, man, rapper, actor, producer, director, whatever you want to call it. And let's be real. In recent years, he has not really had somewhat of a best reputation because he apparently he slapped somebody. Mm. He slapped Chris Rock in the Oscars, and everyone started to hate him for that shit. Like that was like the worst thing. I'm just saying to myself, if that's supposed to be your biggest controversy, then yeah, he had one hell of a career, but he didn't let that stop him because literally he did another movie, the Emancipation movie, which that pretty much got him an award and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? And then he did the Bad Boys 4 movie, which that was very dope. I actually like that movie and stuff like that too. And then he announced that what really made him come back to music was when it was a hip hop 50th, and LL Cool J had that little Grammy award, that Grammy Hip Hop 50 tribute, and he had Will Smith come up there and stuff like that too. So with that being said and everything like that too, he pretty much was saying he was gonna come back and do another album. Mind you, the last album he did was literally 20 years ago with the Lost and Found album, which ironically tomorrow is actually going to be the 20th anniversary of that album. So pretty much he literally came back 20 years after his last album. Literally. Wow. Okay. I think that's the first time that shit actually happened and stuff like that too. But all right. So yeah, man. And it's kind of crazy too because we're Joyner Lucas. Joyner Lucas had that song called Will. And I think that was another one of the influences that made him really want to come back to music and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? So um yeah, man. So yeah, this album finally came out and everything like that too. Excuse me. And oh, I forgot to mention he also returned to the Grammys and stuff like that too with the whole Quincy Jones tribute. But so yeah, this is the album cover right here. I'm gonna be real with you, I don't like this album cover. I'm gonna be
It
real with
reminds me of the Lost and Found album cover.
you. Right. Like it's like now this nigga's found and shit. Like but I mean, mm, I don't know. I guess that's the point. mean, if you come out with an album literally 20 years after that shit, then yeah, that don't surprise me. You know what I'm saying? But hey, um, of course, we all don't have this album, so we're just gonna go straight down to it. So track number one we got is International Barbershop Day, featuring DJ Jazzy Jeff and B Simone. You know that Jazzy Jeff always got to be in the Will Smith album somehow, some way, and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? So this is pretty much a nice little intro slash skit about how people say, "Oh, he's canceled for what he did. His kids are weird. He's a bitch for not leaving Jada and stuff like that too." You know what I'm saying? He had a line said, "One classic album, what that make him Jay Z and stuff like that too."
Right.
Which that line is kind of interesting too, but yeah, that's interesting line and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? But this song was a nice way to kick off the album. I like it.
I thought it should have been longer. It should have been
Same.
a full track, not an intro. You have Jazzy Jeff on here. You know who he is and what he's done. B Simone, she's hilarious. Seen her on Nick
Yeah.
Cannon show. Um, but it should have been a full track because the way that he started it is exactly what we're accustomed to. Like his comedic, was funny. That's the Will Smith that we know. That's the Fresh Prince. When you look back at songs like Prince Just Don't Understand and Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble, you saw My Blinker, it was comedic. That's the Will Smith I wanted to hear, and it should have been a full song. I love the beat for it, and he's making fun of what happened. You know what I'm saying? When he says, we put all the Philly on his back. Bottom line, Will Smith is whack. I mean, he rich, funny, and sexy too. You wish you had a Jada Pinkett next to you. He's making fun of you know himself and all the rumors. And I'm so tired of people. I've seen platforms, even platforms I used to be on, that I end up leaving because they want to do gossip, trendy bullshit that has nothing to do with the culture. Will Smith is a legend. And for people to sit up there and say, "Oh well, he's gonna always be remembered for the slap," he's not gonna be remembered for the slap.
Hell no.
He has some of blockbusters. He's done blockbusters where he won Oscars. He has classic rap albums. The slap was just that's what it was. It was a slap. It's over. It's time to move on from that. That will not. That's not going to define his career when it's said and done. He's definitely going in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're not going to look at him like, oh well, we can't put him in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because he slapped Chris Rock. It's over with. You know what I'm saying? And for people to sit up there and say, stupid shit like that, they really don't know this man. They don't know who he is. I've met him personally. He was great. He wasn't on no bougie shit. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I wanted to cover this album because I was like, yo, I know Will Smith and the era that he comes from and the
Yeah.
cloth that he comes from, and he's not gonna do no full drill rap album and shit. He's definitely gonna have some old school flavor on it. And I love the way that he started off the album, and I just wish it was a full song because like we needed more Jazzy Jeff on here. He's not on the full album. He's only on this track, but this was good. I enjoyed this one.
Definitely. Yeah, I like the way it just set the whole album on deck and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So track number two is You Looking For Me. Yeah, this was braggadocio Will right here. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact, paying homage to the whole Lottie Dottie song with Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh. He kind of had that little 80s, not the 80s, but like that old school kind of flow, but with more contemporary, if that makes sense and stuff like that too. He's just like going down his rap sheet and everything and bragging about what he did, what he done for the game and stuff like that too.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna hold you. This is actually one of my favorite tracks on the album. I feel like the first half of the album definitely was more stronger than the second half. We'll talk about the second half though, but this is definitely one of my favorites.
And I love how he started off the song with Lottie Dottie. Lottie Dottie, we love to party. We don't cause trouble. But I came with somebody. I love that. I love that. The beat was fire. There is like a beat switch where he kind of like sped up his flow, but I thought it was dope. I think it was a good song. Now, this is a song that he should release as a single. You know,
I agree.
you got some old flavor on here. You got some new flavor on there. It was done right.
Yeah, this one was definitely a banging ass track. I love it. Um, Track number three, we got the Reverend Wave Sermon, which is pretty much just like a Reverend skit and everything like that too. I mean, it was I got exactly why it was there, but it was alright.
It's basically like a skit. I feel like the whole album was crafted around the slap, and people made too much of it. I mean, because it was televised and he did go up on stage, and it wasn't backstage, and I feel like he made all this whole album around the slap, and it was like you know a comeback type of album for him, literally. When everybody crucified him, and not one time did I go on any platform and talk bad about this man, because I seen a lot of that happen when all this shit was going on. People were talking about the slap, or they were talking about his marriage, or the entanglement. None of that shit should concern anybody. That's their business. They have nothing to do with me. They have nothing to do with Reg. They have nothing to do with none of us. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you're gonna see those same people that was talking shit about his marriage and talking shit about the slap and he's done. They're the same ones that's gonna come running back now and saying, "Oh, well, Will Smith is back." And nah, y'all stay over there. Stay over there when you always sitting up there crucifying this man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like this whole album is it was crafted around all of that stuff. You know what I mean? And that's the way he's feeling. And salute to him.
Yeah, I don't blame him at all, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Track number four, probably my favorite track on this album, Wave in the Wasteland. Very dope track. Even though the beat sound like some shit I would hear from like latter Eminem albums
Mhm.
and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Which is not really a bad thing, depending on what Eminem song, because it definitely the beat definitely sounds like some shit you would like on a soundtrack or a commercial, like some Transformers kind of shit. But lyrically, I was focusing on the song lyrically and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you was pretty much on his gospel shit, like with this one a little bit. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Will Smith's rhyming, he's a dope lyricist, but as far as rhyming go, he can be kind of in a solo album he can be kind of hit or miss, which I kind of noticed that with this one.
Mhm.
But at the same time, he definitely did his thing on this one. I love the line where he says, "All that you're seeking is hidden inside of you. This is prophecy. Don't let them lie to you. They hear it at the moment. This is the road that leads to the atonement. They don't control it. We're owners. I'm trying to rage. I'm being a party too." That line is so proficient because of the fact that it's pretty much saying, and my take on it's like, don't let anybody be a dictator of like who you really are or how you really feel about certain stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's one thing I got from that. Pretty dope track.
The beat was different. I don't feel like it fit his style of rap, but I mean, he tried something different, and that's what you do as an artist. You try something. Sometimes it's gonna work. Sometimes it's not. Um, it's not one of my favorites though, but it's something. This is what Will does. Like he's never been afraid to try something different. So um, it's a different type of sound, and he was experimenting on this album as well. But it wasn't whack. It's listenable.
Yeah. Next track is called Bulletproof. Again, another kind of experimental kind of track that he was doing and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? This one right here was not bad. I actually like this track. You know what I'm saying? It pretty much, just talking about, just pretty much, just on his little kind of shit and saying like, he's still here no matter how many times you try to throw your shots at him and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? So I actually like this track.
I didn't like this one. This is the cheesy part of Will that I didn't care for. I didn't like this one. The beat, not even like the way he was rhyming. That's the beat alone to me was just bad. You know what I'm saying? I hated the beat.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. Um, if you feel like it had a better beat, do you feel like it would have been much better or what?
He should have picked another beat though. I didn't like the beat at all. It just beat just sounded bad. You know.
Yeah, definitely. All right, next song we got is "Hard Time Smile" featuring Tiana Taylor. This one was not bad either. I noticed that all my De La Soul fans, y'all should recognize that sample and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? That's all I want to say. You know what I'm saying? I can kind of see this one as this radio friendly single. It's not really one of my favorites, but it definitely has that radio friendliness to it. So yeah,
This one I like. I think Tiana Taylor shines on tracks like this where she doesn't have to do too much. And he's talking about love and he's had his love songs in the past, and I love the lyrics where he said, through the pain, the mistakes, and the sadness, through the rain and the breaks and the static, living in a world that attacks us, we stay centered in our hearts on axis. Loved it. This would definitely be a single. I love the beat for this as well. And again, like you had some joints on here that it worked for him. You know what I'm saying? Like this is one of those songs where this is like right in his lane. It's nothing too different that he hasn't done before. And then you have Tiana Taylor, and she has her following, and I like this one.
yeah. This one is definitely a banger. All right. Next song we got is called "Beautiful Scars" featuring Big Sean and No Banger. This was one of the singles from this album and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? This song was okay. This song was okay and everything like that too. You know what I'm saying? Believe it or not, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I kind of felt like Big Sean stole the show. I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I've never really been a big Sean fan, but I do admit over the years he has stepped like his pen game up. It's just that monotone voice I just never liked and shit. Like I don't like that shit, but I feel like he did his thing on this one. I mean, it was alright. It was alright.
I didn't like this. I hate Big Sean anyway. I think he's overrated as hell. You know,
Yeah,
I ain't care for this one.
definitely. Another song is Tantrum featuring Joyner Lucas. Nah, I never really was a big Joyner Lucas fan. And I know that him and Will did a lot of shit in recent years and stuff like that too, but I could care less for this track right here, to be real
Yeah,
with you.
I didn't care for this one either.
Yeah, man. Um, Next track we got is First Love featuring India Martinez and Marston. Um, this track was okay. This was another one of those like radio friendly kind of track and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I know the first verse is definitely in Spanish, of course. Will talking about he wanted that Adam and Eve kind of love. I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna let that slide. But yeah. So yeah, this one was pretty decent. This one
That's
was
not
pretty
right.
dope.
That's not right. I mean, regardless of whatever issues is going on in his marriage or whatever happened, you still need love, right? So whether it was whether his marriage is open or whether is he had issues, the man's still looking for love. It's a love song, like I said, like he's done love songs in the past that were dope. And I like this one. I like the beat for this one. Again, it's another radio friendly joint that he could release as a single too. And I think it was dope.
Definitely. Next song is called "Make It Look Easy." This is another one of those radio friendly kind of songs and stuff like that. Um, I don't hate this one, but I do find this one kind of repetitive in terms of theme and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Not a bad track, but not one of my favorites either.
And this one had like the Afro beat. It's like an
Yeah,
Afro beat type of song. I don't know who's doing the chorus, but it sounds like the Rima, that artist. And again, it's Will trying something different. I like the beat. I like I think he fits on the Afro beat stuff. You know what I'm saying? His flow was dope on here, and yeah, I like this one too.
Mm. All right. Next track we got is the Reverend YCMI sermon. Another one, Reverend Skit. I could care less for this one.
Yeah, it's a theme with the Reverend skits. You know,
Definitely. Next track we got is called "You Can Make It," featuring Friday and the Sunday Service Choir. Friday, he's like a singer on Def Jam, if I'm not mistaken. This was a song that he did on the BET Awards.
Mhm.
Not a bad track. Not a bad track. Kind of an interesting choice for like technically a first single and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, this one was not bad. I actually like this one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
If you know what you're gonna get yourself into.
I like the beat. You know, it wasn't too preachy. You know, you had the Sunday choir in it, and I mean, we've heard Kanye do stuff like this before too. So, I think this drum was dope. And again, like it's a real spiritual song that we really haven't heard from Will and ever until recently, and I thought it was dope.
Definitely. All right, and the next song we got is "Work of Art" featuring Russ and Jaden Smith. Um, I'm sorry, I know that's what some, but I don't care for this one. I try to get into this one, I just don't care for this one.
Yeah, I didn't care for this one either.
I've never been a Russ fan. I'm
hmm
definitely not a big
Russ,
Jaden.
I liked that Wolf joint he had where he had like all the different producers and collabs with like Conway and them.
Yeah,
But that's about it. I really haven't liked anything else from him.
yeah, I just never really got into him and stuff. All right, and the last track we got is the Reverend WOA sermon, which is pretty much just rounding out the whole album and stuff like that too. So,
Yeah.
all right, so overall, this was kind of better than I expected, honestly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is definitely him like
Little
going with.
spiritual awakening. Since
You said what?
I mean that's basically been the whole theme of the album is just him this whole spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
You know,
You know, not everything works on this album though. You know what I'm
right?
saying? But a lot, it's better than I expected. I'm probably gonna give this like a 3 out of 5. I feel like it's decent.
Yeah, I think three mics. Um, it's not bad like I thought it was gonna be. I mean, because he picked the singles, but the singles he picked don't fit him.
Yeah.
It's like he's trying to fit in with today's era, and I don't think any artist from the old school should do that. They let them kids go back and hear what they have and what made them legends. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Don't try to fit in with what they're doing. And I love the joint he did with Tiana Taylor, Hard Times, and You Looking For Me. International Barbershop Day should have been a full song instead of an intro. Um, First Love, I like that one. Make it look easy. You Can Make It. About a good 6 tracks that I liked out of here. So I'm definitely getting 3 mics, and it was like I think he was trying to balance both his own flavor and then trying to sound new and fresh for this generation. But it wasn't completely bad. You know what I'm saying? So I think people that really fuck with Will Smith and been down with him from day one since Rock the House all the way up until now. Check it out. You might like some songs off of here. And I thought it was dope. And you know, we hopefully he gives us another. I would like to see a real album from Will. Give us the real Fresh Prince album with Jazzy Jeff.
Right.
Production with Jazzy Jeff. I would love to hear Questlove do some stuff with him. I mean, the Roots is in his own backyard. You have so many legendary Philadelphia artists. You know, Eve and Beanie Siegel, Play Property, Musique Soulchild, Joe Scott. Like he needs to be collaborating with them. You know what I mean? And that's the real album that I want to hear. I want to hear Fresh Prince and Jazzy Jeff.
Yeah, we want that real Smith, that
Yeah,
real rapping and shit like that.
yeah. This to me was like a little appetizer. We want to hear
Right.
the real Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince album.
Exactly. All right. So I'm gonna end this off right here. 'Cause I gotta work on some stuff and get ready to go to bed soon. But this has been a very interesting review. I love it and stuff like that too. So this Sunday at 6 p.m. we're gonna do Gwen Stefani's Love Angel Music Baby album and stuff like that too, which has been years since I've heard that record and everything like that. Also, I know we were supposed to talk about the Trifling album yesterday, but we're gonna reschedule that. We're just gonna do both Trifling.
They could wait for King T. He ain't going nowhere.
I know, I know,
You know what I mean? He be alright.
I know, I know. So I'm gonna save that and Kingdom Come for next week and shit like that. That way, the week after next, I can just dedicate that to the '80s rap week and shit like that too. You know, but anything you want to say before we head out?
Nope.
Alrighty, y'all make sure y'all stream this album right here. This is based on a true story by Will Smith. You know what I'm saying? If you can excuse the album cover, it's actually a decent album and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Appreciate this try.
Okay.
Peace.
Peace.